'Cause you had a bad day, you take it one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around. You had a bad day, the camera don't lie.
It all starts in the basement, where a golf ball, holding gravitational potential energy, sits on top of a mousetrap, which contains elastic energy. When David pulls the trigger, the mousetrap releases its elastic energy and swings the golf ball in a projectile motion pattern, which is a transition from elastic energy to kinetic energy. The ball's kinetic energy is then used to overcome the inertia possessed by the wooden block in front of it. The wooden block then falls down onto a rope, which pulls up a wooden plank, and this releases a wound-up toy car, which holds elastic energy. This toy car was chosen in particular for its ability to follow a path. When the toy car is released, the elastic energy is converted to kinetic energy. Then the car must overcome the inertia possessed by the paper towel roll and the soccer ball to make the Rube Goldberg / Soviet machine continue. Then once the inertia has been overtaken, the soccer ball moves down the inclined plane to hit books, which hold potential energy. These books will then fall to force the scissors to cut some twine. The twine is connected to a rope, which is connected to a pseudo-pulley system, and the rope then comes down to a book, which stores lots of gravitational energy because it is heavy. So when the twine is cut, the book will fall onto the ruler and this will shoot the golf ball into the giant water bottle, through the use of projectile motion and kinetic energy. The ball then accelerates downwards into the hole and down another inclined plane to a bucket. This bucket contains marbles which are used to overcome the friction of the pseudo-pulley system. When the bucket accelerates downwards due to the weight of the golf ball, it pulls up another bucket, which has a flap. This flap was designed to lift a different toy car onto the inclined plane so that it can roll down. As this toy car rolls down the inclined plane due to gravity, it also accelerates as it gets closer to the bottle because of the magnets on both the bottle and the car. Then once the car nudges the bottle, it releases two marbles and a tiny soccer ball. All the balls then travel down another inclined plane, using gravity. The marbles both fall, while the soccer ball continues down the inclined plane, and then falls, only to encounter another inclined plane. The soccer ball then continues until it reaches the golf balls. The soccer ball then passes its kinetic energy to one golf ball which will pass it along to another and so forth. Then the final golf ball on the end moves down to the next inclined plane and travels downwards. Once the golf ball reaches the end of this inclined plane, it jumps from the inclined plane into a cup, where it is directed to its final destination, another inclined plane. Thank you, gravity. Then the ball starts negatively accelerating down the inclined plane for some part of the inclined plane, but then accelerates as the slope becomes steeper. Near the end of this inclined plane is a hammer. To demonstrate the conservation of momentum, the golf ball hits the metal hammer, which then rotates around one rotation and hits the golf ball, and then golf ball continues along, using the energy it gave off to the hammer. Then the golf ball falls to hit a wooden block, which holds a pencil, and this then dials Nikita's cellular phone. The phone uses electrical energy to produce waves with a frequency of 2.4 GHz, and sends the waves towards the telephone base. The telephone base then transfers these waves into electrical pulses into the telephone wires. The electrical signals are then redirected until a cell phone tower finally sends out waves that are transmitted to Nikita's cell phone, which then vibrates and produces sound, through the use of electrical energy, to move towards the golf ball. Tape on the binders were used to stop the cell phone from sliding and the yellow paper was used to reduce some of the friction on the phone, so that it does slide slightly easier than the phone alone. Once the golf ball reaches the end of the inclined plane, it pushes the golf ball down the toilet paper inclined plane. Once the ball reaches the yogurt container, it pushes it down and releases the container as well as the hot chocolate container. The containers were first held down by tape, which was about to fall off, so that when the golf ball landed into the container, the weight was heavy enough to make it fall. Then to ensure that these containers would hit a plastic cover, elastics were used to tie up the containers, which will elongate as the containers travel downwards and as potential energy is maximized at the center of the pendulum. Then once the plastic cover is pushed over, a fan blows a Pirates vs. Ninjas edition sail which is attached to a double-decker toy bus. The wind then propels the bus forward, which then burns a very thin strand of nylon string using thermal energy from the fire on the candle. The string then releases twine that is wrapped around a staircase rail and attached to a shoe. The twine was wrapped around the staircase rail to increase the friction so that the shoe, which is filled with pulps to make the kick stronger, would travel slower when coming down. Once the twine unravels a bit, it will release the shoe to kick the Pirate vs. Ninja edition flag, and that is the end of our Rube Goldberg / Soviet machine.
In Soviet Russia, Rube Goldberg machine makes EOM. God detto natural selection.
Every challenge